So we are continuing on episode 24 on page 150 in the Who Am I book, Identity book.
Yeah. I wonder if we could like prop it up
Yes, like I can go like this and hold it
the
the
whole
whole
time.
time.
No, like on the desk.
Yes, I could try to do
That would be nice. Give the author some props.
But now we're gonna have to
There we go.
do that for all the books.
Well, we can't guarantee that.
So as I said, we're on page 150.
150.
So they're talking about several different people. Okay, so the first one is Helen. Mm-hmm. So what is this section about, Lisa?
Helen Keller.
Okay.
And how she was blind and deaf from a young age, and it made it difficult for her to understand the outside world.
Yeah, think about that. Mm-hmm. So you're blind, which means you can't see, and you're deaf.
You can't hear.
You can't hear.
You can't speak.
So how can you?
You can't really communicate with anyone
because you haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Or seen.
You can't see anything, so you can't even see like gestures or.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like you're just born into a world of complete silence, and with no vision.
Yeah.
All you can do is feel things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her tutor, who was working with her, ran water over her hands while signing the word water. Something clicked. So I'm assuming that what they do is maybe signing it on her hand or something like that.
I've seen a video of this.
You have?
Yeah, like when I was in school, and it's one of those like pumps, like the water pumps.
Okay.
And I can't remember, but I just remember like I think she was like smiling because like she kind of like it says in the book, it clicked.
That's very cool.
Yeah, but I don't remember if it was like that or if she was doing actual sign language.
Okay. Well, it had to be something where she could feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she might have just done it in her hand, like.
Right.
Yeah.
And she also had a doll that was broken. Right. That early on was kind of frustrating her with her learning. And as she tried to put it together and she began to understand, she had sorrow for actually breaking it, right?
Yeah.
So her realization of this doll, changed the relationship, right? She didn't necessarily have an understanding. It's like think about how we treat people sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. And you go to someone and maybe they're having a hard day.
Yeah.
And you're like not being nice to them because you think they're being a jerk.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you realize they tell you, well, this just happened.
Right.
And then you feel like,
oh yeah.
That's why we should just always love and not
take things personally or. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, we're going to go Simon and Peter. So what about Simon and then Peter, Lisa?
Well, so we hear of Jesus showing up when Simon and his friends had not caught any fish. Mm-hmm. And then Jesus tells him to cast his nets, and then they get a big catch. And Simon's first reaction to this vast haul of fish was an overwhelming sense of his own sinfulness.
Yeah, so like this event hit home with Simon, right? Because he really saw Jesus for the first time.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he saw himself, his own sinfulness.
Yes.
So it's imagining like you can be in relationship with someone but not be in relationship with someone. Right? And so while he knew Jesus, okay, he had a whole new understanding of who Jesus was when this happened. So once again, if you want to know who you are, you need to know your maker.
Yes.
Okay? And then Jesus does what?
He tells him that soon you will be fishers of men.
Okay, so now we go to Peter. Simon Peter. Same guy, different location.
Right.
Back to Caesarea Philippi.
Which we talked about some episodes ago, yes.
Right, where he says, hey, when he answers the question, he says, you are Jesus, the Son of the living God.
Yes. And then the heart of Christianity is not a set of rules, which we've been talking about, but an encounter with Jesus.
Yeah, so in order for us to answer, Lisa, who we are, we need to ask, who is Jesus? And then Jesus is the one, as we have been saying, who reveals us to ourselves.
Yes. God has planted in our hearts to know the truth, which is to know him.
Yeah, it's through Christ that we see both who we are and who we can be.
Yes.
Which is really, really important.
Yes.
Not to just see who we are, like, beloved daughters and sons of God.
Yes.
But also our capabilities of who we can fully be and how we live out our life.
Yes, like to have that freedom.
Right, exactly.
Yes. And in this scene, it's Caesarea Philippi, Jesus is calling Peter to a new role.
Right. So here it comes.
His name is?
Simon Peter.
Simon,
Peter.
You shall be called Peter, and I shall build him up, and you shall...
And on this rock I will build my church.
There you go.
Right, you confused me. Sorry. It's okay. But it's like, remember, okay, Simon cannot become Peter without Jesus.
Yes.
Right? Because
yes.
the rock on whom Christ will build the church cannot be done without the help of Jesus. Here we go again, right? Okay, I was like, Jesus sends you on assignment. Okay, I don't need you anymore. I got it. I got it from here. I'm going to build the church. No, it doesn't work that way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important to note that, like Peter, that we achieve things and then start to think that we are doing them on our own.
Yep.
And then we fall. It's kind of like Peter
Then we do this. We fall.
Boop.
Backwards.
Yep, backwards.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Peter when he denied Jesus because he thought that he was relying on himself instead of Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus is always inviting us to places where we cannot get on our own, which can sometimes be problematic for us folks, because that requires a lot of trust.
Yes.
And maybe stepping out of the boat.
Being uncomfortable, obedience, keeping our eyes focused on Jesus.
Well, I have a takeaway question.
Great.
Where in your life are you afraid to step out of the boat right now? Where in your life is God calling you to something greater, and maybe you're resisting? I'm Deacon Dave.
I'm Layperson Lisa.
All right, see you later.
Bye.